I've been Windows user since 1992, starting with Windows 3.1, jumping to Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 2000, Windows XP, Windows 7, and since late 2015, I've been using Windows 10. I can honestly say that Windows served me well through all these years, and it's almost 30 years. I have fond memories of Windows XP, remembering that it was a quite powerful and stable operating system. Windows 7 was even better in any regard. On an operational level, I was even very satisfied with Windows 10. But in the last few years, a lot of things happened in the world of politics, technology, and you name it. We are living in an era of fake news, online surveillance, data mining, unscrupulous world leaders, politics, and organizations. And then there is Facebook Cambridge Analytica data scandal. It was a major political scandal in early 2018 when it was revealed that Cambridge Analytica had harvested the personal data of millions of people's Facebook profiles without their consent and used it for political advertising purposes. In other words, Cambridge Analytica was a company that severely interfered in several nations' elections promoting interests of a certain political party. It was a British political consulting firm which combined data mining, data analysis with strategic communication during the electoral processes. And then there was Microsoft, a company that heavily uses the data of all kind produced by Windows users. And with every update in Windows 10, Microsoft is unnecessarily bloating the system with unwanted, not needed apps and games. I decided that I wanted to make a stand, or at least a valid change. Certainly a small change for mankind, but a big one for me. I didn't want to unconsciously give my data, my private information to companies like Microsoft, Facebook, and others just like that, so that they can profit in a way I'm not having control or not condoning. I didn't want to contribute to what I perceive a growing and continuing derailment and devaluation of democratic processes in our societies. I knew that it was impossible if I continued using Windows as my operating system of choice. And so, I changed to GNU Linux. I have flirted with Linux since the beginning of the 2000s. I tried Fedora, Debian, Mandriva, OpenSUSE, Dynabolic, Ubuntu, and other distributions, but I always came crawling back to Windows because I realized I couldn't use certain programs like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Vegas Pro, and serious gaming on Linux was non-existent at the time. But time went by. A lot of water has gone under the bridge, and many things changed, as mentioned before. So I wanted to give it a try again. I downloaded Linux Mint, a derivative of Ubuntu Linux, and after trying it without installing it, I finally decided to remove my Windows 10 from the computer and I installed Linux Mint 19.2 Cinnamon Edition on my primary machine. And what a wonderful feeling of being free of chains at last. But I was very afraid some hardware would not be recognized by Linux or that I will again hit the wall regarding missing some apps or not being able to play my games. So far I haven't had big hardware issues and I'm slowly learning alternative apps, especially video editor Kdenlive, desktop publishing application Scribus and graphics editor Krita. It isn't always easy, but I feel I just need a little time and it will be alright. I did have a few addict relapses, meaning I really missed the ease of use in Windows and especially certain apps like InDesign and Vegas Pro. And there was one time I was so close to reinstalling Windows 10 again. But I endured, and it's been now 7 days since I've been using Linux. I hope I don't cave in and take the blue pill again, because at the end of the day, I don't want a tranquil happiness and blissful ignorance. I want a life of knowledge, freedom, and brutal truth of reality. And I'm convinced that it is more probable with using Linux in my everyday.